Hi everyone, I am here with my very good friends Jerry and Monica to demonstrate Cubyria and show you how it works. And I make the claim on the Cubyria website that you can learn it in 10 minutes, and so I thought that I would prove it by teaching you how to play. This is basically exactly the same spiel that I gave to people at the UK Games Expo before they played it themselves. So this is Cubyria. The best way to think of it is it's kind of like 3D competitive Tetris. And the theme of the game is that there is a Mad Vizier, and the Mad Vizier has commissioned a palace, but rather than hire one architect, he's hired, in our case, 3 architects, however many players there are. And all of you know that because he's mad, the odds are that only one of you is going to get any of the glory, and the rest of you are going to wind up in the dungeons or beheaded or whatever. So you are ostensibly working together to build the same palace, but in fact you're competing against each other to get the largest number of points. And the way that you get points is by playing rooms onto the structure. So there's a deck of cards. The cards are each associated with a room. So this is the guard room. And I don't know how close this needs to be. Basically, the cards are very simple. Yeah. Okay. You have a title, an identifier, an image to help you find it. This is the base point value. So the base point value of the card is multiplied by the story or the floor on which you play that room. But there are also some cards that have limitations to where you can play them. So the Vizier, for example, he doesn't want his balconies on the first floor, and I'm using the American convention that the ground floor is the first floor, and above that is the second, etc. And that's just to make the math easier. So you can play any room on any floor you like. However, if you play a room on a floor that has been grayed out on its card, then you don't get any points for it. There are, in fact, times, rarely, when it actually makes strategic sense to do that. You're basically burning a room, but you're using it to maybe support another room, something like that. But most of the time, you won't be getting any points. The building rules. So, the logic of the building rules is that there needs to be a continuous passage between all of the rooms of...
That's it.
There needs to be a continuous passage between all the rooms in the palace. The main way of doing that is to place doors to doors. So most rooms have walls and doors, and when you place 2 doors together, then you've created a continuous passage between those rooms, and you only need to do one. So for example, this is a perfectly legal move to put these together like that. Even though this door is blocked off, it doesn't matter. As long as there's one that goes through, you're good. There are also secret doors. Secret doors look like this, and secret doors can be placed against doors, against walls, against other secret doors, so they're very versatile pieces. And then there are some special ones like these are gallery windows. Now the Vizier likes his views, and he doesn't like his gallery windows to be blocked, so you can't block those off. The same with balconies. You can't block balconies either. Actually, sorry, this is a legal move. You can put windows against balconies, but you cannot put windows against other windows, and you cannot block windows with walls or doors or anything like that. You can't block that in. There is in the rule set that I have uploaded in the download section, there's a little chart that actually explains that and makes it very clear what can go against what. Okay, building upward. Now, obviously the first room that's played is going to be played on the ground floor, but there are also stair cards. Let's see if we can find one. Now, when you get a stair card, you can then use it to play a stair token. And the way that you do that is you basically place it inside a room, and then you can use that and place it on top of another room. And that creates, again, a contiguous passage between the room below and the room above. Now, once you've done that, you've opened up that floor to expansion by other players. So, for example, it's entirely fine then for me to play this here, this room, because there's the door that connects them, and you don't need to have stairs there. You only need, the contiguous path continues through the door. So as the palace grows upward, there's only you only need to use stairs when there is no connection on its own floor. There are roofs. Now, roofs are almost exactly like rooms, except that you need 2 matching roof cards to play them. And you can put anything alongside of them. There's no limitations to what you can put next to them. So they're very high scoring because they're easy to play and they're easy to play high up, but you need 2 matching cards to play them. And then the one other building element is the support columns. Support columns are a wild card. They can go against anything. And they can even be placed atop other pieces without stairs. However, they don't form a contiguous path. So, for example, it's perfectly okay for me to place that there, but if I were to then place another room on top of it, that would not be allowed because there's no contiguous path. And even if I put a stair in that room, it would still not form a contiguous path because you can't go downward through that. So these are very useful for basically supporting other pieces, often for raising the heights of your roofs, to get extra points that way. They're auxiliary, what do you call them? They're support pieces. I think that covers it. So the turn, oh yes, cranes, thank you. Yeah, this is a little like your cranes, thank you. So every player gets, there should actually be four cranes. So by the way, this represents both the core set and the extended set together. So if you were to buy both sets, you would have all these pieces. Those of you who played this at the UK Games Expo, you basically played half of this, which is approximately the size of the core set. In the core set, each player gets 2 cranes, and then in the extended set, each player gets another 2 cranes. However, I've only printed 3, so that's what we're doing tonight. Cranes are played like this. So cranes are basically used for reserving spots on the structure for yourself. You'll have a hand of cards. When you have a hand of cards, you can burn one of your cards, which means discarding it without receiving any points for it. And you can play a crane. You can either play the crane on the structure, like that, which means that no one can build in that spot. Or there's also a common pool of cards that everyone is going to be drawing from as the game progresses. You can also place your crane on one of those cards, and it works in the same way. It reserves that card for you, no one else can take it. Now, once you've played a crane at any time you want, any time in the game, you can remove that crane and make use of that card. And you're not actually under obligation to do that. If you change your mind, you can just take it off. It doesn't cost you any points or any effort to do that. Okay, the order of play is this. Everyone gets 4 cards, dealt to them face down, blind, and then there is also, as I said, there is a common pool, I don't know if you can see that here, a common pool of 4 cards. On your turn, you can play up to 5, and those 5 cards can come from either your hand or the pool in any combination. So what you're trying to basically do is you're trying to maximize your point value by selecting the combination of rooms and the combination of cards that will maximize your points. And remember, you're always mostly trying to build upward to maximize your points in that way. I think that's it. I don't think there's any more. So we're going to play a game, and I hope that you enjoy watching it. Cheers. Bye.